Okay, let's just go live. Sod it.
I'm letting you know. Not me.
Right, so we are missing the following people.
You can't do that. We've got a Frenchman here now.
I can still do that. It's fine.
Yeah,
Dan
I'm gonna pick it up, but I'm slightly offended.
Study shows young men prefer video games over casual sex.
Dave, if you're
It's
offended,
been initiated.
report it to Police Scotland and they'll pay him a visit.
All right.
Yeah.
It's been initiated. He's been initiated now. You can't be offended. Right, so wait for Find the Pass, Dan Roush, both Alpha Romeos, which is Martin and Simseku.
We're missing
We are
Haida.
missing Hyder. And
I'm
that's
not
it.
missing him.
I've just seen a funny thing on Twitter or X.
Dan Roush, Simseku, Martin,
Me.
Hyder. Find the Pass. But you're here, so I'm not really counting you.
Martin says he's on his way shortly.
Listen to this. Young men prefer playing video games over casual sex. Study shows.
Or
Could you
that's
win it
the
now?
option.
That's the... No, it says prefer.
I
mean,
don't-
depends on who the person is,
yeah, it depends on the
Yeah.
person, and it depends how over it you are.
Yeah.
and also how far you got to go.
Yeah,
I ain't
It's like
traveling
it is a
200 miles.
very short. You're not travelling anywhere.
Did any of you watch the Man United game last night?
No.
My sex
Yeah, I
life is
did.
like my Irish
Every 10
carrier.
minutes of extra time.
He's like, what?
I said my sex life is like my Irish carrier. Too many X's.
Fuck's sake. You've been disqualified yet?
Yeah, every time I get near a girl, I get black flag.
Black flag. Drive
Jump
through.
start.
Jump start.
Jump start.
Yeah, every time I try to start
Drive
from the
through.
pit, just not gonna let me through.
Fuck's sake.
2x for loss of control.
Oh yeah. Oh my god.
I don't think I correct agree before.
No, he did not finish.
Dims did not finish.
Yeah, my issue is not more than I do not start.
Yeah, did not start.
Too many contacts.
Missed start.
I normally just get blue flagged. There's a faster driver
Yeah,
behind
it's
us.
disqualified.
Excuse me. There's a faster driver behind you, you were saying.
Get out of the way.
Alright, sorry.
Yellow flags, proceed with caution.
Yeah, that's fine. I'm too cool.
Who
Dan, Hyder, Simseku,
is in?
Martin,
If you,
Find the Pass.
if it's
Martin
just
said
me
he'll
you'd
be here
waiting
in a
on.
moment.
When it's just me, you're just waiting on, by the way. Start and I'll join in quickly. I don't want you to wait for me because I'm eating.
I mean, once it gets to 8, I'm starting anyway.
I was
Yeah.
still missing the two Alfa Romeos. I think that's it, no?
So, yeah, Simseko and whoever the fuck else.
Like, if I eat this any quicker, I'll fucking choke.
I know we're missing your co-driver as well. Not
Yeah.
Just turn your console on so we can send you the invite.
What's the other Alfa Romeo?
Simseku.
I'm second Martin. No.
Yeah, Simseku and Martin waiting for.
Well, Simseko's not online. Dan I've invited.
Yeah, I've invited Dan
Twice.
as well.
Why is my Xbox being? I'm turning the Xbox on now.
Have you not even got it turned on? Dear oh dear.
Well, no, I'll leave it turned off because if it'll overheat otherwise.
It is short collie as well, by the way.
That's fine. I've got
Might have 2 more times.
maybe a sausage left and some pork.
I mean, that's all your meal was: pulled pork and sausage.
Yeah, I know,
so
but I had 6 sausages and lots of pork.
He threw water at me.
I had to throw water at you.
Over at me.
Do you guys think I can?
She goes, "Did you piss in the bed?" So I went, "No, the baby threw water at me in the bath. That's why my side's wet."
Did you piss in the
Yeah.
bed?
That might be
What?
a little.
What's up
Maybe.
there?
Oh, you just dribbled.
I was saying, do you think I can qualify while having a tutorial on how to drive around Mexico on the other monitor?
that's why you got a blue flag. Someone was coming up
I mean,
fast behind.
yeah.
Oh God, I just realised it's fucking Jeddah. It's not even Jeddah racing. It's fucking Mexico.
No, it's Mexico.
Where did you get cheddar from?
Mexico
Jeddah's
round
next week.
15.
The attendance went up together.
Yeah, but like
That's what I'm
that
I
it.
didn't realise.
I literally went into my settings menu, took every assist off, and tried to keep it within track, which has been quite the experience.
I can't even get the car facing the right way with all this stuff.
Right. Let's go.
Yeah,
Not waiting
just
any
start.
longer.
I'll be there. When I'm ready, I'll just ask for an invite. Ow.
Right, I'm just.
Right, good luck, everyone. I'll speak to you after the race.
Thank you,
see
Shane.
Rob.
Thanks, John.
Enjoy
Nice.
your commentating.
I
I'll
promise
try.
I will have less penalty than during Monaco's race.
Is that possible?
Yeah, I had 15 seconds worth of penalties, so yes.
Okay, that's very possible.
All right, good luck. Oh dear. Right, after... Oh, hang on. Need to stop that. That's better. After a bit of banter beforehand, welcome to the TTFL com stream. We are round 14, not 15 like some of the other drivers have actually put on their streams because they've, just got it wrong. But we are round 14 and it is a sprint at Mexico tonight. So whilst everything is loading up, we'll take a look at the stand-ins. Casto extending that lead out in front now. He's 16 points clear of Shaunicus, who I'm sure will be hoping to try and close that gap down, especially with the extra points for the sprint tonight. Find the Pass sitting in third. Moyland up into fourth. Frenzy holding on to fifth place, with Martin just behind in sixth. Mrs. Cole brings in seventh. Camus in eighth. Zodak in ninth. And still Sneeze rounds out our top 10. We then have Scarito, DXC Anthony, Speedy, who's not with us tonight. Actually, neither's Anthony. Jelly Kane or Dan Roush is in 14th. Simseko in 15th. Hyder in 16th. Hobo in 17th. Wi-Fi Button in 18th. Gear Shift in 19th. And Deizu in 20th. In the constructors' stand-ins, McLaren holding on to the lead ahead of Ferrari in second. Just 48 points separating the two. Very close overall on results as well. So a couple of good performances from Ferrari could see them topple McLaren. Mercedes in third on 146. AlphaTauri bring in fourth with 76 points. Williams in fifth on 71. Alfa Romeo in sixth on 67. And it's 10 points back to Alpine in seventh. Red Bull are in eighth, just ahead of Haas, and Aston Martin sitting in 10th at the minute on 15 points. So hopefully this is going to work. And it does. The weather is showing we are clear all through quali. So as it is a sprint, it will be short quali, so they've got one session to get their times in. Evening, Ryan. How you doing, mate? No, it's outside. No, it helps if you're actually... I hate the F1 game. Why can't I... That's what we want. Lap data up. Full track map. And let's find who's furthest around the lap. That'll be a Haas, which will be Hyder. As Hyder's just coming through. The S is now the middle of sector 2. So where we normally see the most incidents. Quite easy to pick up an off track through the S's. Quite easy to lose the back end as well if you ride the curb too much. It can unsettle the car depending on the setup you're running. As Hyder makes his way out of the stadium to start his first timed run. It is one of the longest straights on the calendar. By Find the Pass. I'm guessing you didn't mean to retire. and leave the session, but we'll send you an invite. So into the second DRS straight, which is picked up by the activation point for the first DRS straight. So if you do get the move done into turn 1, you then get the benefit of DRS out of turn 3 as well. I'll help open that gap out for you. Thornicus needs another invite. Get that sent across. Danhouse just throwing in some hate for the double DRS zone. Gotta say, I agree. I think the detection point for the second DRS zone should be possibly on the exit of turn 3. I know it don't give them long, but it allows people to fight back if they're passed on the first run. So Zodak going to the top with a 118.8. Hyder managed a 19.1. Let's see who's El Stefano's invalidated. Moreland's just coming through the S's and will be the next one to cross the line. So we'll stay with Moyland as he comes to the end of sector 2. Got the DRS open again. Now, on the brakes before the stadium section. Part of the track I don't like this bit of the track. I mean, it looks good for the fans in the stadiums, but the cars aren't doing what they ultimately can to there. They're too slow. So Moyland into third with a 19.1 on his first run. Got another Haas. That's Day on their outlap. Alpha Tauri, Camus. I think everyone's on their outlap. We'll stay with Hobo now as he comes through the S's. Through that second DRS zone. 58.6 through sector 2 for Hobo. Just the stadium to get through. And takes a little bit too much on the exit curb and invalidates the run and straight into the pits. Mrs. Cole's jumped up into second on an 18.8 as well. 19 thousandths off the time set by Zodak. El Stefano back racing with us again in the Alpine, sits in fifth currently on a 120.1. Wi-Fi button coming into the S's. Guessing your game lagged out, find the pass, and then the game did what it does every now and then and just retired your car for you. So Moyland goes on a second run, an 18.7 to take himself to provisional pole. Wi-Fi just coming through the final couple of corners as Camus goes through into provisional pole with an 18.0. Wi-Fi a 19.9. Very slowly in traffic trying to keep out of the way of the next car coming down. Looked like he bailed before the end of the lap though. Zoo's done 1 minute 40. Game DNF me because it won't let me pick a car. That's why you should have got in the lobby earlier. Yeah, it's put you in the McLaren, so that's a bit random. So Mrs. Cole did improve on her second run with a 17.3, but Martin's improved on that again with a 17.1. So the order at the moment is Martin on provisional pole, Mrs. Cole in second, Camus in third. Dan Roush just pipped Moyland to go into fourth. Moyland sits in fifth. Zodak in sixth. Hyder in seventh. Wi-Fi in eighth. El Stefano in ninth. And Day in 10th as the last driver to set a time. Stilled Sneeze just starting his first timed run. He's coming through turn 3, get the DRS open. You sprint down towards turn 4, bring the car back over to the right hand side of the track before getting on the brakes for the pretty much a chicane left right hander, and roll along the curbing on the outside before the double right hander, then head up towards the S's. Everyone does seem to be giving those curbs on the apex a wide berth tonight. If you've got the car set up right and can ride them, they do help you gain quite a bit of time through the S's. But if you run in too low a rear end, they will just pretty much beat the car and normally result in a trip to the wall. As Stilled crosses the line. 17.8 takes him into 4th place. Squito just starting sector 2. Through the double right hander and now up to the S's. Takes a lot more curb on the final corner, but unfortunately a bit too much and invalidates that run. So Scarito will need to run again. Day has done a second run and improved, now sits on a 121.8. Still a bit of time to find, but I know Day said earlier on they are running fully no assist, which isn't something they're used to, so we'll expect to see their pace increase through the rest of the season. As Casto has put his first timed run in a 16.7, so Casto comes to the top of the board. Moyland is back on track, trying to improve on that 18.7. DRS open, heading down to turn 1. And the apex is nicely all the way through, rolls the curb on the exit of 3, DRS open down towards turn 4. 28.7, 8 tenths up through sector 1. It's going to be moving him up to 5th. Can he find any more in the middle sector as well? As traffic pulls out of the way so as not to get involved. And out of the S's onto the 3rd and final DRS run. 1.2 seconds up through sector 2. Looks a little squirrely on the entry to the stadium, but got it back under control, keeping it well within the limits. There's the final corner to go. Sprint to the line. 17.5 from Moyland moves him up into 4th. Thornicus is currently sitting in 16th on a 26.7 and into the pits. He's invalidated that run. He'll be looking for new tyres and some more fuel. Gearshift's first run was a 144. Wondering if he picks up traffic during his run. Decided to bail. So 4 seconds up through sector 1. Definitely wasn't pushing through sector 1 then. Really should get the track map up. Oh, come away. I don't want tickets to Miami, thank you. So at the final corner, gear shift moves up into 6 with a 17.8. Casto is back out on track on an outlap. Mrs. Cole is coming into the S's, 700ths down on her best time so far through sector 1. See if we can get the benefit of the toe from her teammate who pulls out of the way. Miss Cole looks like he's already bailed on that run. 3 seconds down in sector 2. Jesus, I'll be all in. Scarito into the pits. Both Hasses are on outlap. It's the Alpine of El Stefano. So that was possibly a build lap of 21.5. Well, we get no tyre data. No relative data. Oh, why are you not working? We want that one. See why the plugins aren't working. I've closed race labs. Oh, for conflict of ports, because race labs was also using the same port. Well, we won't have the nice overlays then. Screw you, game. That one. Alright, there we go. We should hopefully now have telemetry data. Yes. Stupid game like cloud for the session. We got that data as well. Overlay control. Close that out. So Casto has improved to cement his position at the top on a 16.0. Martin in second on a 17.1. Just about to start his final run. Thornicus still down in 17th. Currently on that 26.7. Needs to try and get this lap through cleanly. 7 seconds up through sector 2 puts him on a 19.7. Still needs to find something in this final sector then. We'll have time to go for another run, but I doubt he'll have the ERS available if he needs to. does improve again through sector 3, only good enough for second, make that third, as Mano goes through into second on a 16.4, Thornicus on a 16.6. Martin just making his way into the S's, currently sitting in fourth. Camus has retired, so it won't be improving, but we have got a lot of cars still on track. Moyland into the pits. Aston Martin also into the pits. We'll go back to Martin, 10th up through sector 2. Zoo's retired in the pits as well. Martin does improve, gets into the 16th with the 16.9, stays in 4th place. Mrs. Carla 10th up, but loses half a second in the final sector, so will stay in 6th. Gearcliff currently 400ths down through the middle sector. Martin saying in the Discord he did his final run on used tyres, so we know he had more time in him then. Gearcliff moves up into 7th with that lap on a 17.3. Casto not improving, Frenzy not improving, Mano into the pits. Thornicus coming into the pits. It's just Zodak to come. No, Zodak's out of fuel. So does Zodak to get back to the pits, and then we'll be moving on to the sprint race. So imagine invalidating when 3 seconds ahead of personal best. Oh, that would have been an 18.8 plus whatever you found in the final sector. Oh, that would have moved you up a few places for the start. But don't stress too much. It is a sprint, so anything you gain in the sprint will help you in the feature race later on. I'll run you through the standings. So Casto takes pole position for the sprint, followed by Mano and Thornicus. Martin starting in 4th. Camus in 5th, Mrs. Cole in 6th, Gearcliff in 7th, Stilled in 8th, Moyland down in 9th, but as we've seen before, qualifying hasn't been Moyland's strong point of late, but he certainly does make up for it in the race normally, and he's got 2 stabs at it tonight. Zodak in 10th place, Hobo in 11th, Frenzy down in 12th, which is unlike the Frenzy of late. Dan Routh in 13th, and bystandings. So now we are waiting for the drivers to set their strategies. We'll leave the weather on because I get a feeling when we go to actually grid up for the formation lap, that's going to change. Looks like it's going to be a dry sprint race. But we will wait and see. So light cloud according to the weather. Get the tyre detail on. So Casso, Mano, Thornicus going for the soft. Martin, Camus, Mrs. Cole on the medium. And then the next three, Gearshift, Steeled and Moyland on the soft. Zodak on the medium, followed by Hobo, Frenzy, Dan and Wi-Fi on the soft. Hyder on the medium with Scarito, El Stefano, Day and Find the Pass all going for the soft. Not what to do, if I'll make it entertaining for you. Mexico FT set is all I had. That'll be interesting, Find the Pass. An F2 set up in the F1 car. I'm sure if anyone can make it work though, it will be you. Little bit of work to do, but 2 races to go at, so plenty of time to get things back together. As Casto leads us round, we have got a few stragglers at the back. So Scarito is out of position. So when they get to the grid though, that will be corrected. He'll be allowed to take his own or his correct grid box. Let's keep an eye on what sort of camera angles we're going to have. Oh, I think looking at Mano is going to be the best to get a spread down the field. A few drivers not able to park it in the box. Timing screen having a mare as normal, but we have got 5 lights and it's lights out and away we go. Casto not getting the best of starts there. Mano looked to be gaining on him in the initial phase, but Casto bringing it back in the second phase. Problem with the starts here, this long straight down to turn 1 allows everyone to get the slipstream, and Mano has use that to his advantage to get in front. So Casto drops down into second. Martin holding on to third, but Thornicus is challenging to get that place back. And is looking around the outside on the right-hander of turn 4, which gives him the inside for the left-hander and is in front. Martin coming under pressure from Steel Sneeze, who's managed to slip past as well. Moyland up into 6th, gaining 3 places on the start. And right on the back of Martin, Mrs. Cole finds herself dropping down into 7th. Frenzy's gained 4 places off the start and is up into 8th place, just behind Mrs. Cole. And we come the Red Bull pairing of Zodak and Gearshift. Zodak gaining places on the start, but Gearshift losing out. Camus dropped 6 places off the start, so not his best start so far. Finds himself sitting in 11th. Hobo holding on to... Actually, no, Hobo's dropped a place down into 12th. Hyder's up 2 into 13th. Followed by Wi-Fi and Find the Pass, who's gained 4 places off the start. That F2 setup seems to be working for him so far. Dan Roush has lost out 3 places. El Stefano holds on to 17th with Day in 18th. And Scarito losing 3 places on the start, finds himself sitting in 19th. Back at the front, Mano seems to have things under control for the time being. Casto a half a second back, followed by Thornicus and Stilled Sneeze. When the timing board figures its life out, we'll be able to work out who's going to be within the DRS when that becomes active next time around. So race strategies for the sprint, it's a no stopper. Obviously the mandatory pit stop is only within the feature race, as Find the Pass has gone for a move on Hyder on the entry to the stadium. Hyder fighting it back, so Hyder back into 12th. Unpass actually lost a little bit of ground there, and it's going to be dropping back into the range of Dan as they make their way down towards turn 1. Can Dan stay in the slipstream and look for a move into turn 1? I think it's just a bit too far back to go for that. Needs to be keeping an eye on El Stefano behind as well. He closed right up on the brake in there. Have we got any other movement? Everyone else staying rather static at the moment. Top 3 all in a little DRS bubble. We're still forming a little bit of a roadblock. Starting to drop off the back of that front trio. Moyland right on his rear wing though, looking to try and get past before the DRS zone so we can try and close down that lead trio. So Sealed lost another couple of tenths through the stadium. Moyland with the DRS. I'd expect this to be a fairly easy overtake. Still does defend though. Tries to squeeze Moyland. Moyland holds on to take the position. He'll get the DRS down this second straight as well, where Steele's going to come under fire again from Martin as well. Head down towards turn 4. Martin looks to the inside, later on the brakes, get the nose in front. They're side by side round the right-hander. A little bit of wheel banging there on the exit of turn 5. But Martin has got in front through turn 6. So that's Martin up into 5th. So in the course of this lap, Steele has lost out on 2 places. Needs to be careful. Frenzy just behind. He'll get the DRS, but still does get the DRS from Martin to help him defend. So Moyland at the front of this pack is outside the DRS of Martin. Martin will still get a distant tow down the start-finish straight. Moyland will be hoping to get the same from Shornicus. Casto's managed to get back in front of Mano, and Shornicus also finding his way past Mano with the DRS, helping him to get that job done. He'll get a second dose of DRS out of turn 3, which will help him close up towards Casto. Martin looks to be struggling, well, not struggling, being caught by Steele with the help of the DRS. The drivers are on different tyre strats, so Steele will have a slight advantage at the moment in terms of traction out of the corners. So Thornicus, having got that move done, has broken the DRS to Mano. As we go through the detection point, the timing screen showing is over a second off of Casto. And Casto opening that gap even more through the final couple of corners. So Thornicus doesn't manage to get the DRS, but does get the distant tow and is closing, as I can see Moyland behind with the DRS, trying to go for a move around the outside of Mano. Can't get it done with the first DRS. Can he do it with the second into turn 4? He can. Oh, sorry, I knew that was going to be a bad time to have a swig of beer. But, you know, it's Friday. Oh, a little bit of a slide from Moyland on the exit of 5. But then Mano duplicates that on the exit of 6. So I don't think Moyland's lost anything there. Actually, the back end of Mano's car looking very twitchy. Not showing any damage, but certainly looking like he's got that car set up with a very loose rear end. Could hurt him in the feature race if he starts wearing into those rear tyres too much. Still ahead of Frenzy at the moment, but Frenzy is closer this time around as they come out of the stadium and onto the start-finish straight. Frenzy will get the DRS and he'll be looking to try and capitalise on the fact that Find the Pass is still quite a way off and down in 11th at the moment, as the Ferrari drivers do go in pursuit of McLaren for the Constructors' Championship. And as I say, that Find the Pass gets the move done on Mano, so Find the Pass up into 10th, still not into the points. The sprint race points are only down to 8th place. So a few more moves for Find the Pass to make if he wants to salvage some points from the mess that was his qualifying due to the game disconnecting him. You've got Hyder just on the back of Dan, as we've got our first retirement, and that's Day on the exit of that's brought out the safety car. That was on the exit of the final corner. No, I think it's Camus that's brought the safety car out. Camus found himself in the barrier on the entry to the stadium, which has called for a safety car. I did see a wheel in the middle of the track as well. So the sprint will have a sprint. We have got some into the pits. Find the Pass, Hyder, Gear Shift, Wi-Fi, Dan Roush all coming into the pits. I hope they remember the chaos that is tyre allocation in a sprint race and don't go out and burn tyres that they would have wanted to use in the feature race later on. So everyone making their way back around. I wouldn't expect to see any of the front runners in. Certainly not the very front runners. Maybe on the back of the pack may have a chance of getting back out before some of the others find their way back around. So Moyland, Mano, Martin, not Mrs. Cole, and Frenzy all dive into the pits, looking to go for fresh rubber to try and push to the end now. Casto, Thornica, Steele, Teniz, Mrs. Cole and Zodak all staying out. So, wrong button. Oh, that one. Let's just go for stop data. So top 5 have all stayed out. What's just disconnected? I don't know. So top 5 have stayed out. Moyland, Mano, Martin and Frenzy have all stopped for tyres. Scarito, El Stefano staying out. Find the Pass, Gear Shift, Dan Roush, Hyder, Wi-Fi all stopping for tyres, and Hobo has stayed out. Not sure what happened to Hobo. He's a long way off the pack. Plenty of time to still catch everyone up as they're trying to get to the safety car, but keeping an eye on that delta. Nothing of note from the weather at the moment. So as comes across the line to start lap 10. This will be the final lap of the safety car. At the moment, Casto, Thornicus, Steele, Mrs. Carl, Zodak, Moyland, Mano and Martin all in the points positions. Looking at that, the top 8 are all solo teams at the moment. Frenzy being the closest one, able to get a double points finish. Ryan picks up wing damage, lap 1, turn 1, and has stayed out. I'm surprised he didn't pit under the safety car and get a new wing. Well, it's only 2 laps, but it's might be a struggle missing that end plate. It might leave you vulnerable on the exit of the S's. Dan's predicting carnage. I mean, I'm sure everyone will get their elbows out. Just looking at another Discord, and everyone seems to be ordering the Nitro Surge Guinness. A bit late. It was Paddy's Day last month, people. But here we go. Safety car is coming into the pit lane. So Casso will lead us away. Can we get a decent view for the restart? And Casso has gone midway through the final corner. Thornicus out a little, but he'll get the benefit of the slipstream down towards turn 1. Already can see that delta closing as Thornicus goes to the outside of the track, gets the move done. Casso coming under attack from Steeled Sneeze as well into turn 1, covers off Steeled and goes back in pursuit of Thornicus, heading up towards turn 4. There are moves going further on down the grid as well. Trying to keep an eye on this, see if Thornicus can get it back into turn 4. We're side by side, wheel to wheel through turn 4. Casso ends up running a little wide on the exit, so Thornicus manages to hold on. Still in there as well, trying to find a way past, with Moyland up into 4th, having cleared a couple of those who haven't stopped. So Moyland with the fresh rubber will be looking to try and capitalise. I can see him going for the move. He's just on the inside of Steeled, later on the brakes, and gets the move done into the stadium, and now he goes after Casto and Thornicus. We're looking to try and get a good exit out of the final corner, stay in that slipstream and follow Casto as Thornicus' car just darted across the track as he's trying to break the slipstream. Moyland on the charge. Can he get the move done? On the brakes into turn 1, side by side with Casto. Put him on the outside for turn 2 and gives him the inside for 3. Casto looking for the cut back but can't get it done. He's got to be careful of Steeled Sneeze, who looks to be better on ERS. There's a bit of contact there between Casto and Steeled through turn 3. Steeled coming under attack from Martin as well. Martin getting a big helping of oversteer on the exit of turn 6. And now we go through the S's. Can Moyland get close enough as he picks up a penalty? Seriously, Moyland. All you had to do was keep it clean for another 5 or 6 corners. I know it's still like the win on track. The fireworks are going off. We're not even around the final corner. Find the pass, picking up penalties there. Currently finds himself in 4th, but will lose places due to the penalties. So as we cross the line, it's almost side by side between Moyland and Thornicus. The penalties will come into play. So the final order, Thornicus takes a win in the sprint and the maximum 8 points. Casto picks up second and 7 points. Frenzy in third with 6 points. So Ferrari getting a good result there. 20-second penalty for being punted. What happened? Find the pass. I see you pick up a 3 second. Had to take evasive action on last lap, but snuck a few spots back. So let's get to the results. So Thornicus takes a win. Martin punted me off into the stadium. Casto picks up second. Frenzy in third. Steeled in fourth. Was last, then ended up 12th. Martin in 5th. Mr. Carl in 6th. Moylan down to 7th after picking up that penalty on the final lap. Gearshift takes the final points in 8th. Then Mano, El Stefano, Wi-Fi, Dan Routh, Zodak, Hobo, Hyder find the pass down in 16th with those penalties. Moyland loving the penalties. Cooks my tyres after too many spins. Retard the car to avoid more damage. Mano got taken out again. Can we all calm down a little for the end of race 2? It did all look a bit... It didn't look too argy-bargy, but clearly looking at the chat, things did get a bit argy-bargy on track. He couldn't get a decent lap in, so let's move on. Yep, got another race to go. Sprint's over and done with now. We can all forget about that and focus on the feature race. We've got light cloud moving in after 15 minutes. I wish this weather would actually give us a proper full breakdown of what's going to happen. Would love to see some rain towards the end, or even rain in the middle and then drying out, and then everyone's got to take a gamble on when the right time to swap tyres is. And talking of tyres, let's have a look what everyone is starting on. So your top 3, Thornicus, Casto, Frenzy, all on the medium. Still going for the hard. Martin on the soft tyre. This is Carl Moyland on the hard. Gearshift and Mano on the medium. El Stefano on the hard. Wi-Fi on the medium. Dan Routh on the soft. Zodak and Hobo on the hard. Hyder find the pass going for the softs and try and gain some places off the start, I'm guessing, especially with a couple of hard runners ahead. Scarito and Camus on the mediums and Day on the hard. Oh, excuse me. Quick check on Discord while they're coming around the formation lap. You will ignore Discord for a minute because it's all kicking off in there. Could be third now, so 16. Look at the straight line. All I can say to anyone who's got issues with stuff from the first race is put the incidents in after the race and the stewards can look at it. Obviously it's not going to change positions for the feature race, but if penalties are due, penalties will be handed out. So Thornicus holding on to the lead at the start, coming under pressure from Casto into turn 1. Thornicus, with no wingman with him to help at the moment, is going to be under a bit of pressure from both Ferraris as Martin going for a move down the it'll be the outside into turn 4. This gives him the inside to turn 5 and holds the inside to get in front of Frenzy in turn 6. It took 3 corners to get that move done, but that's Martin up into 3rd. Still losing out, dropping down into 5th. Find the Pass apparently has had an absolutely blinding start, gained 11 places off the start and up into 5th as we see him going past Stilled Sneeze, so taking full advantage of that soft tyre and just absolutely blitzing his way through the field. Moyland, Gearshift, Mano all in their original positions. Mrs. Cole losing out 4 places off the start. Dan up 1 into 11th. Wi-Fi dropping down into 12th. Hyder's gained a couple and currently sits in 13th. El Stefano's lost 4 places off the start lap. Make that 5 as Hobo goes for the move down the inside, gets the move done without the DRS and well before the braking zone. El Stefano under a little bit of pressure there from Camus. It's not Scarita, it's Day that's unfortunately gone round. I'm not sure if there was contact with Camus as they went through turn 1. It did look awfully close. Don't appear to see any damage. So if there was contact, he has got away with it. Thornicus holding on to that lead in front. Casso and Frenzy are within DRS range. Find the Pass just making it into that DRS as well, but DRS isn't active till the next lap. And then we've got Stilled Sneeze just dropping off the back of this lead group, which has allowed Mano to go for a move on Moyland through the stadium. Moyland was just behind Stilled Sneeze, but Mano sending it up the inside, gets the move done. And now with the slipstream, can Mano find his way through on Stilled Sneeze as they head down towards turn 1? Moyland sticking in the slipstream as well. Is he going to try and make it 3 wide? No, he decides against that one. Backs out slightly to allow the battle in front to develop, waiting to pick up any places if there is an incident further ahead. Doesn't wait too long to get a move done. Does get the move done on Stilled in towards turn 4. So Moyland back into 7th as he tries to close down Mano and find the Pass. I know some 2 seconds back from Find the Pass, who's just skirting on the edge of DRS of this lead 4. Yes, I did have to have a look then to see how many were in front. My brain just couldn't brain at that point. So with the DRS, can Casto get the move done on Thornicus? He is closing even before the DRS opens. The benefit of the slipstream as well, going for the outside attack round on into turn 1. A nice bit of wheel to wheel battle in there. Casto has got the move done. He'll get the DRS again. Thornicus' car is jumping around. I wonder if his connection is lagging slightly. It's not going to help everyone around him. I'm to try and guess where his car's going to jump to. As Martin gets another dose of oversteer on the exit of 6. Moylan picks up another time penalty. At least he's done it early this time. Frenzy and find the pass. Still holding second and fourth and fifth. Mano is losing time to find the pass. There's top 5 all within the DRS. That's going to help him, especially down this start-finish straight. They're going to gain so much time with the slipstream and the DRS. Not necessarily enough to attack in the DRS train, but certainly enough to help extend those gaps behind. So saying that, find the pass, going for the move on Frenzy into turn 1. Gets the move done. He's got to push on these soft tyres. Got to try and find his way through. We can hope to make the undercut work when it comes time to pit. With Martin also running on the soft tyre. So Martin and find the pass likely to be pitting around the same time as one another. Hopefully there's less controversy about their battle rather than what happened at the end of the sprint race. Moyland sticking with Mano to a degree, but a lock up through the stadium's lost him a bit of ground. It's going to lose him out on the DRS. They are on different tyre strategies, so I'm sure Moyland won't be too stressed at the moment. Casto has made the move on Thornicus into the braking of turn 1. Thornicus trying to fight it back into turn 2, but Casto closes the door and does get the move done, and now we head down towards turn 4. Casto with the DRS will help him extend that gap. Thornicus holding on very well. He's only 3/10 off the back. Find the pass, finds himself out of the DRS of his teammate. So he's not going to have DRS help him defend from Martin and Frenzy. Actually saying that, find the pass has got the move done on Martin. And so we're running 4th and 3rd, and now they're 3rd and 4th. So find the pass really is on the charge tonight. Hobo picks up a penalty. There's a Wi-Fi just behind, followed by Scorito as they come through the stadium. Scorito having a look on Wi-Fi. Wi-Fi having a bit of a messy moment through the stadium. Manages to recover it on the exit. Looked like Scorito was going to have an easy pass coming out of the stadium. He's got the DRS and has got the move done. Wi-Fi tries to get straight back into the slipstream, help mitigate as much loss as possible there. Scorito will get DRS again to help him extend that gap as he goes in pursuit of Hobo. Hobo running in 13th at the moment. That's our next battle. We've got Moyland and Mano are starting to close in on this lead pack. Right, Casto 2.5 up the road from Thornicus and has dropped 3 seconds back to find the pass. If those softs are starting to go off now, whilst the mediums and hard runners, their tyres are going to come into their best peak performance windows. Frenzy got the move done on Martin on the run down towards turn 1. Frenzy goes in pursuit of Find the Pass. He'll get the DRS. Martin does as well. I think Frenzy will be close enough, but decides he's not. He backs out of that one. Thinking long term, maybe different tyre strategy. So trying to look after the tyres, take them as long as possible. You'll know that Find the Pass is going to be pitting before him, as El Stefano and Zodak are having a battle further down the order. Zodak back in front of El Stefano. El Stefano trying to look round the outside as they head towards turn 7. Not able to do anything at this point. And now have to pretty much follow the leader through the S's. Zodak's car looking very twitchy. I'd say that's looking like a connection lagging out. Hopefully connection stabilises and it's not being caused by the storm that will be blowing through Ireland imminently. So Castro's opened himself a 3-second lead over Shawnicus. Shawnicus 2.5 seconds ahead of Frenzy, so Frenzy has got the move done on Find the Pass. So Frenzy will be hoping to stay in front. We've got a yellow flag in sector 3. That's one of the Hasses been round. It's Day round on the entry to the pit lane. You've got some free space, Day. And yeah, Day is back underway. Hopefully the game didn't decide to dump a safety car. So Castro crosses the line as a start lap. Is that only lap 10? Feels like this race has gone forever. Find the Pass into the pits. The end of lap 9. Going for the medium tyre. 26 laps on the mediums. Think there may be a bit of work to do. I'll be counting on a late safety car, help him get the best out of this, brings him out of the pits into 14th. So having done all that work to get himself up into 3rd, now finds himself back down in 14th. All that work to do again. Right, just within the DRS of Frenzy. You'll need the DRS to try and close this gap down. A shot of the front wing. Pointless shot of the front wing, but it did look good. We come out of the final corner. Out of the final corner. One should speak better English. With the DRS, but too far back to go for a move into turn 1. Certainly closer. Can he look for something into turn 2? And while that battle's going on, Moyland just behind Mano. We've had the DRS down the start finish straight. He's lost a bit of time through turns 2 and 3, running over the curb. Did get the DRS to help close it back up a little. Not able to close enough as Find the Pass getting multiple cars round there. So Find the Pass has been round. Looks like Zodak's given that place. I wonder if that was because Find the Pass was spinning Gave him an illegal overtake under yellow. Hobo trying to take advantage. Hobo with no front wing, so I don't think he was trying to take advantage. I think he outbraked himself because he couldn't get the front to rotate. I'm not sure who Hobo's had contact with. On the pass is carrying a bit of body damage, a bit of wing damage. Hobo obviously with no front wing. No one else who would have been around that battle with any damage, whether it was contact between Find the Pass and Hobo. There's Find the Pass, even with wing damage, getting the move done on Wi-Fi, loses out to El Stefano as well. Wi-Fi running over the sausage curb in the middle of the stadium section. That's Hobo into the pits for a new front wing. Moreland losing that bit of ground early. He's not been able to close it back up. If anything, Mallow's managed to open the gap a little bit more. So Mrs. Cole and Stiltneys in their battle for 7th. Still carrying that penalty will help Mrs. Cole at the end of the race. Dan Gear Shift Guru is an absolute menace. Hit at least 3 of us so far. I'll try and keep an eye, but obviously, as I say with everything like that, after the race, clip it and report it, mate. The stewards will have a look and take appropriate action. I'll say it like it's the stewards are a different group of people. I am one of the stewards, but obviously during commentary, without actually seeing what's gone on, can't pass judgment. I mean, I'll pass judgment if I watch a blatant murder on stream. So, yeah, just be warned, Dan, I'm watching, so no murders, please. Or we'll poke you in the ribs. So, Find the Pass, sitting in 12th. Gained a couple of places since coming out of the pits, but obviously has got that little bit of wing damage. It looks like his back end's extremely loose on that car. He's sliding all over the place coming out of the low speed corners. We got, so Casto is comfortably in the lead at the moment. Frenzy holding on to that final podium position. Not clear out in front and behind him. Mano's opened another second on the gap back to Moyland in 5th place. Stilled and Mrs. Cole still close. Can Mrs. Cole find a way past into the stadium? We're going to try and play it safe and go for the move through the start-finish straight and then use the second DRS straight to extend that gap back to Stiltneys. We'll stay with this battle as they make their way into the S's. Oh, yeah, so that was the second DRS straight anyway. It wasn't into the stadium. Just call me Crofty. I get it wrong almost as often as he does. So into the stadium we go. Mr. Colby wanting to try and stay as close to that gearbox as possible. A great drive out of here. Still looks to have the better drive initially out of the stadium. That was for a very tight line. I don't know if he was trying to fake a pit stop there. Let's go with the DRS. Down the start finish straight. Not really gaining as much as I would have expected. And they're still running more ERS. Let's put the telemetry up. So Stilled sitting on, oh yeah, Stilled has masses more ERS to defend, but Mrs. Cole looking to go round the outside. This will give her the inside for 5 and 6. Mrs. Cole has got the move done, so moves up into 6th place. Stilled with that 50% ERS advantage. Expect to see him coming back at Mrs. Cole almost immediately once we're out of the S's. Still will have the DRS as we go up towards the stadium. Cars jumping around a little there. I wish they would improve the lobby connections. Out of the final corner. Now we'll see. We'll still deploy much ERS as we head down towards turn 1. Got the DRS, has closed the DRS early. Opting to not go for the move this time around. He try it down towards turn 4. I would have been able to use the DRS to extend the gap, and that ERS advantage would have helped him. He's opted to stay behind Mrs. Cole for the time being as Scarito and El Stefano have traded places, so Scarito up into 14th. Have we got any other close battles? It is really the only couple of battles we've got. Scarito and Wi-Fi are still battling it out, and Wi-Fi's been round, and Scarito did get a bit of contact, but looks to have got away with it. No damage showing for Scarito. Wi-Fi looks to have, that's Dan. Wi-Fi's got no damage either. I'm not sure why Wi-Fi had the spin. It has seems to have got away without damage. He is running the fuel warning light though, so he needs to be careful to make sure he's got fuel to the end. His first driver, as we've clicked through, I've noticed to have it. Mr. Cole picks up a 3-second penalty and loses out to Martin. Martin finds himself in 7th, just behind Stilled Sneeze. And going for the inside of turn 6. That's 2 places in a handful of corners for Martin. Martin up into 6th. Still drops down into 7th, and Mrs. Cole currently in 8th place. Nothing really has Martin pitted. That one he has. I was wondering if he'd pitted because I thought he was running further up. So Martin has pitted from those softs onto the mediums. I pitted a few laps ago actually. I just completely missed it. And that is Thornicus and Mano both into the pits. Thornicus out on the hard tyre, Mano also on the hard tyre. Casto has some breathing space now on the medium tyre as well. I'd expect to see him in within the next couple of laps. Unless he is going to try and push it and go medium soft. You are looking at least another 10 laps on the mediums. I don't know if he'll be able to hold the gap back to Martin, who seems to be closing down Moyland rather quickly on those fresh mediums. Moyland staying out this time around. wonder if Moyland is going to be looking to try and go hard to soft. Would definitely be easier than medium to soft. This is Cole with the DRS down towards turn 1, but not close enough to go for a move. Still with over a 50% advantage on the ERS. Hyder retired from the second. And that has brought out the first safety car of the feature race. So this will almost definitely work to Casto and Frenzy's advantage. They've got a healthy enough gap. They don't need to double stack in the pits. Casto is coming in. But it's what tyre is he going to go on to? As the mechanics come out, it's hard tyres for Casto. Frenzy into the pits as well. I'm guessing hard for Frenzy. And I guess wrong, because Frenzy's gone for the soft. Moyland into the pits. Currently on the hards. Inters. Oh, there is rain on the horizon. I don't see any on screen. Alright, I'm going to have to put... Oh, wrong button, that one. No, that one. So Martin gone for inters as well. Is that rain expected to hit? And we're overcast for the next 15 minutes. Safety car isn't going to take 15 minutes. Find the pass going to the inters. Camus onto the inters. Casto, Frenzy, Thornicus, Mano, all on the back of the safety car. So if they have got to pit again for the wet weather tyre, that's going to drop them down the order, as everyone is going to start closing up. Although more than some 10 seconds off. Got to try and drive to the Delta. You're also on a wet tyre on a dry track. They are closing right up. It's going to be very interesting as we go through the stadium. Let's see if anyone peels off. Casto stays out. Frenzy stays out. Thornicus comes in. So Thornicus is going to lose quite a few places. I think he's going to come out around about 9th place, depending how quickly the McLaren team can service that car. He is on his way back down the pits. Sits in 8th. As Dan comes down the start-finish straight, Thornicus will get out just in front. So Thornicus comes out in 8th on the Inter. Still no signs of rain on my screen. Definitely are expecting rain, at least according to the spotter, but it's still 15 minutes out. %, chance at the moment. Don't see any signs of anything falling. How spaced out the pack are. I think we're going to have a little while still under the safety car. I was only joking earlier when I said I hope there is rain, but I'm definitely excited for what this is going to bring. top 3 still on the dry tyre. We've got Moyland and Martin 4th and 5th on the inters. Steele and Mrs. Cole on dry tyres. Thornicus in 8th on the inters. Dan in 9th on the dry mediums. Camu on the inters. So who's just come into the pits? That's Frenzy and... Oh, they're moving so far down, I can't keep up. Mrs. Cole, Frenzy, El Stefano, Hobo, all into the pits. So they're all going for the Inter. There's Wi-Fi dropping down the order there on the start finish straight. Not sure what happened there. Side by side with El Stefano as El Stefano comes out of the pits. Still doesn't appear to be any rain on screen. Literally, as I say that, I spot the rain at the top of the screen. So the rain has started to fall. And if you've ever driven Mexico, you will know the track will go from bone dry to absolutely riddled with water in about half a lap. So Casto and Mano now have the decision to make. Do they stay out and pray the rain doesn't come to too much? Safety car in this lap. That makes it choices even worse. If they pitted under safety car, they'd have been able to get back onto the back of the pack at least. But now, whatever they decide to do, if we could have a look. Casto is coming in. Mano staying out on track. So Casto boxes behind the safety car. As we go back to racing, Mano stays out with Moyland picking up second place. Steele moves into third. Doesn't look massively wet at the moment. Thornicus into fourth place. Martin in fifth. We've got a couple of guys round. It's both Alpha Tauris and a Red Bull having some kind of moment there. Find the pass up into 8th. I mean, pitted for the Inters, has had the wing change as well. Hobo losing out to El Stefano, so Hobo drops down to 16th. Mano and Steele are opening a gap over Moyland. Track clearly not ready for the Inters yet. Can't blame the guys for going onto the Inters under the safety car. It was the best option at the time, but they've got to hope this rain does actually come to something. Light rain for at least the next 15 minutes. So the track should start to get wetter, but it currently looks like a dry track. Thornicus gets the move done on Moyland, so Thornicus up into third. Moyland with a big kick of oversteer on the exit of turn 3. Manages to keep the car pointing the right way and stay on the back of Thornicus. Mano doesn't look like he's struggling. Sealed as well under traction, looks to have the car nice and stable. I don't know why, but I get the feeling this rain is going to be very light for a while. It's going to, oh, as I say that, a big moment for Mano into the stadium. Does he stay out? He is staying out as the rain does look to be getting heavier. Steeled staying out as well. So the gap between Steeled and Thornica sits at 3.3 seconds as they cross the line. Don't expect that to change much down the start-finish straight, but it's when we get into the middle sector where you're going to want to have the grip. Can Thornicus and Moyland close that gap down to Stilled Sneeze? 3.6 as they exit turn 3. Still opening on the run to turn 4. Again, that's just a straight line. It's now through sector 2 where we're going to see if that gap closes up. Thornicus looking a little unsteady on the rear. The gap sat 4.3 as they enter the S's. They're still losing ground to the cars in front. Mano opening up the gap over Stilled Sneeze. He's got a 4.5 second gap back to second place. He looks to be a little bit twitchy under traction, but he looks fairly stable through the rest of the lap. That gap to Thornicus is now 5.3. He's lost nearly 2 seconds in the space of a lap. He's going to need it to get very wet very quick for this gamble to pay off for him as he loses out to Moyland under braking and with the DRS. The DRS is still active. Which says it's definitely not wet enough for the inter tyre. If the weather does stay like this to the end, I think Mano and Sealed have pulled off an absolute blinder. Zodak's going to be sitting in a good position as well. If he can close that gap to Martin and get in the DRS, even get past Martin and start trying to claw into Thornicus and Moyland with the penalties on those around. There's some good points on offer for Zodak. Wi-Fi on the hard tyre. Doesn't look like he's struggling. Find the Passers bailed off of the wet tyre and gone for the soft. It's dropped him down into 14th. He's got 4 seconds to find Tahobo in 13th. As he finds a second just through the stadium section alone. Zodak, clearly listening to the comm stream, has wasted no time in doing as I asked and getting on the back of and past Martin. So Zodak up into 5th and now goes in pursuit of Thornicus. Moyland and Thornicus still losing ground to Stilled Sneeze. Not as quickly as the Inters do eventually wear down into slicks. But Zodak already in the DRS of Thornicus ahead. So we're going to stay with Zodak through the S's. Doesn't look like the rain is causing him any issues. He'll get the DRS on the run down towards the stadium. Don't think he'll be close enough this time around, but he'll definitely be closer coming out of the stadium. Rain is starting to look heavier. It's looking quite a bit heavier actually. DRS is still available. As we go on to the start finish straight, Zodak is just 3/10 behind Thornicus. Is out of ERS. Thornicus has got some ERS to use to defend. But Zodak getting the move done and is through and up into 4th place. Can he now chase down Moyland? Gets the DRS down towards turn 4. Gets the car turned into 4. No trouble for traction on the exit of 5. It's starting to look like the track is wetting up, but I don't know if it's going to be enough. El Stefano and Hobo trading places further down. Find the pass up into 11th on that soft tyre. Gap between Moyland and Stild as they come out of the stadium sits at 6.3 seconds. Both carrying some penalties. DRS still available. So the in-game stewards not deciding it's wet enough to disable DRS, although we are now starting to pick up spray, so track is getting wetter. Isn't it lovely? They can still run the dry line in the wet. Thornicus being able to get the DRS as well, helping him to close up on Zodak as we head into turn 4. Stiltonese picks up another 3-second penalty. It isn't good news for Stild, is good news for Zodak if he can just find a way past Moyland. Getting very twitchy on the exit of turn 6. We're going to have 6 laps to go, and I think it's going... we've lost Day. Oh, big slide for Mano on the exit of the stadium. Is he going to stay out? He's not, so Mano into the pits. He was 12 seconds ahead of Moyland. Well, nearly 13 seconds. Still into the pits as well. So Moyland will come through to inherit the lead. DRS has now been disabled. And Moyland does pick up the lead. Zodak stays out, is under pressure from Thornicus down towards turn 1. Haas of Day. Oh, it was Hyder that we lost, sorry, not Day. Day is still running, keeping out of the way down the start-finish straight so as not to get involved in the battle for the lead. Zodak's lost out to Thornicus, currently sits third. Moyland carrying that penalty. If he can hold on, I think might be a tall ask because those mediums are 11 laps old. Everyone else is now on the inter tyre. Zodak's got Frenzy for company. Frenzy's going to get held up here through the S's. Zodak's going to have to take it so steady. It's taking it steady, but it's holding it nicely. Managing to keep that car under control. There we go into the stadium side by side with Frenzy. Runs deep into the entry. It allows Frenzy through. Really struggling for traction through the stadium. It has allowed Mano to catch up as well. Zodak's, I get a feeling he was pinned to the outside there and couldn't get back across into the pits. He's got 6 seconds clear to Casto. Casto down in 6 after going for the inters later on. As Dan got past El Stefano as El Stefano came into the pits looking for a fresh set of inters. Casto's closed down nearly over 3 seconds into Zodak. We're only just into the start of sector 2. Zodak really struggling for grip now. getting caught on the outside of the exit. Oh, moment for Zodak there, runs off the track. I think he got a wheel onto the grass. That drops him down into 7th. Does give him a little bit of breathing space as we go through the stadium. Expect to see Zodak in at the end of this lap. Find the pass. I give up. T, please don't. I can see what you went for. Find the pass. The Inters weren't the right tyre to start with, so you thought you'd get back onto the dry tyre. And then the rain just came in. That bit too late for you. So Zodak pits for the Inters. This is going to bring him out. What could have been an absolute master move. The weather gods decided against it. So Zodak comes back out onto track in 12th place. A bit of work to do to recover some points, but it's not outside of your reach, Zodak. Get your head down and get going. Find the pass. Has really given up. Is retired in the pits. Moylan's decided to extra screw himself and pick up more time penalties. And a big moment on the entry to the stadium for Moyland. He manages to keep it out the wall, but loses the place to Thornicus. Can't run against people who can't drive. Joke. Not sure who you were battling with. Find the pass, but as I've said a couple of times, put it into the stewards. The only way drivers can be educated is if they get reported and the stewards hand out the penalties. Your teammate's doing well, is holding on to the lead. Mano's closed up on Moyland, is closed up on both of them, having stopped that bit later for the Inters. 10 lap difference, and actually running them in the wet rather than 8 laps in the dry. Hikmet tried to go into the start of the S section at a 90-degree angle and T-boned me. Clip it and report it. That's all you can do. So Mano's got the move done on Moyland whilst I was too busy reading chat and Discord. And it's going to be coming under pressure from Frenzy. 8 tenths between them. Obviously no DRS as that's been disabled, as it is now a wet race. Still Sneeze running in 5th with Casto in 6th. Casto will definitely gain on Still, at least with the penalties. Depending how close they can get to the back of Moyland. I know Moyland's running on at least 6 seconds. Casto could be... No, he's not looking at a podium. Mano's managed to get the move done on Thornicus. Those fresher Inters definitely coming into play. I'll try pit for mediums for undercut gear stick. T1 punted down into me, which caused Hobo to hit the back of me. Well, I've been awful generally. I had to pace the win today. You have had some poor luck. I did catch the back of the spin or the contact with you and Hobo. As gear shift is out in the pits. Is he in the pits or is that just in the pit entry? Trying to find who's going to be going past next. Not that Aston. Maybe that one. His car's moving, so yeah, he's retired in the pits by the looks of it. So Mano holds on to the lead with 2 laps to go. Clornicus in second, Moyland in third for the moment, but Frenzy looking to go for a move, decides against it into turn 1. He'll be looking at those penalties and knowing he'll pick that place up at the end if he just holds on to the back of Moyland. Stiltsney's running in 5th, Casso in 6th, coming under pressure from Martin. Again, the fresher into tyre coming into a life of its own now as Martin gets the move done on Casto into turn 4. Casto, I'd have expected Casto to defend that at least in the dry. We expected more of a defence from Casto. With the tyre difference, I think Martin just had to drive out of turn 3 to get that move done. Casto also probably looking at the penalties of the drivers around him and deciding it wasn't worth the risk, as Moyland, Stild and Martin all carrying penalties. We start the final lap and it does look like that rain has turned into an absolute monsoon. So Mano leads us down into turn 1, followed by Thornicus and Frenzy. Frenzy having got the move done on Moyland, still going up the inside of Moyland into turn 1. So Moyland had a bit of a mare, one of the first to go onto the Inter whilst it was still dry under safety car. Can't actually read what his tyre wear is on. His rears are on 70, his fronts are on 50. If we compare that to Stild on the 6 lap old, so only 10 lap difference, and is on about 17% all round. That running in the dry, Mano doesn't have his telemetry data on. Thornicus on 60%, 70% on the rears. That gamble may not have been the best thing to do. I mean, it could have paid off, but the tyres are dropping off, something chronic now towards the end, as those who waited are starting to recover places. I thought Mano was going into the wall on the exit there. Thornicus getting very sideways at the final corner. Frenzy picks up 3rd. Martin jumps up to 4th when penalties come into play. Make that 5th. Casto picks up 4th after penalties are dished out. Martin takes 5th. Still gets 6th. Moyland gets 7th. Mrs. Cole picks up 8th. Camus will come round to take 9th on track, but we'll wait for Zodak to see if there is any change there, and there's not. Zodak takes 10th and gets the final points position. Dan Routh gets 11th and loses a wheel on the line. Hobo takes 12th. No, El Stefano gets 12th. Hobo drops to 13th. Wi-Fi does come in out of the stadium section. Please don't hit the... Wi-Fi gets 14 and wipes out the stationary Mercedes. Scarito's going to come round to pick up 15th and avoid both detonated cars. I would like to report the weather gods. Do you know what, Zodak? So would I. I thought you'd pulled an absolute masterstroke there, and we're on for a good haul of points. Don't discount yourself though. You still picked up points. You did really well to hold on for as long as you did. And if you are still in the chat, can you confirm you wanted to pit the lap earlier? Dan was going to report me. Yeah, you can all feel free to report me. Crappy commentary. But what looked at one point to be a fairly... It looked like it was going to be stale. That late safety car and the weather definitely spiced it up at the end. So just to confirm, Mano takes the win for Aston Martin. Slonicus picks up seventh. Second. Frenzy rounds out the podium, finishing ahead of Casto, but good haul of points for the Ferrari duo as they go in pursuit of McLaren for the constructors. Martin picks up fifth, Stilled in sixth. Moylan comes home in seventh after picking up 12 seconds of penalties. Mrs. Carlin eighth, Camus in ninth. Zodak picks up the final points position in 10th. Dan in 11th, El Stefano 12th, Hobo 13th, Wi-Fi 14th, Scarito 15th, Gearshift 16th. The final car across the line picks up 17th. And I missed. I know Find the Pass is in 18th, and I completely missed who was the other car. Yeah, I can't even remember. But that has been round 14, and we'll be back next week for Cheddar. Thank you everyone for watching. Oh, missed some in the chat. Hobo dropped me out of your 5-second window by half spinning as I went past. Forced me onto the grass. Was that... oh no, that must have been towards the end, I'm guessing. Done. Yeah, thank you everyone for watching. Thank you those of you who have been in chat. Even if I think all of you bar T who've been in the chat were actually driving, so I'm not quite sure how you managed to drive, listen to the commentary and talk in chat at the same time. It's obviously illegal to use your phone whilst driving, so I hope you've all got voice control. Honest mistake by Hobo, just bad luck for me. Yeah, on the last lap, long straight. Have a great Friday. Cheers, T. I am going to end the stream there. Thank you everyone for watching. I think I've said thank you about 5 times now. But I'll be back same time next week for Cheddar, and then I'll be back Thursday for Canada in ESR, and you may even see me pop up every now and then with some random iRacing stuff. So if you do see the streams are up, feel free to jump into chat and just have a chat. Unless it's ESR, I'm just generally messing around on iRacing. Thank you everyone, and I'll see you next week.